You can study in United States for absolutely free. In fact, not only just that you will graduate $0 with $0 debt, but you will actually have some savings saved up before you graduate. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true, and don't just take my word for it. I actually spoke to two students, Devshree and Chaitanya. Both did their entire masters from United States, who did it for absolutely free, and they both went to Georgia Tech University. They both had a way to figure out how to do their masters for free, and in this video I want to talk about how can you study for absolutely free in United States, especially in Georgia Tech. And if you end up going to Georgia Tech, what will be your life? What is the profile that you need? What is the cost of living? What is the total cost? And everything you need to know about Georgia Tech in this video. Let's get started. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Yudi. I have been a hiring manager for last 7 years. I'm a senior product manager, and on this channel we talk about study abroad in United States and building a successful life in United States. Today we want to talk about Georgia Tech and how can you study for free in Georgia Tech. Let's start with the profile. Like, what kind of profile do you think you need to get into Georgia Tech? I know people really think that it's all about GRE and TOEFL score, and like they're just stuck on that thing. But in reality, it's a lot more than that. Your overall profile matters more than just your GRE and TOEFL score. So I would recommend that you focus on strong SOP and LORs, and that is what is going to get you admit at Georgia Tech. And this is how Devshree and Chaitanya actually did it.
Right. So I gave my GRE. I got a score of 318, and TOEFL I had 107. So I think 100 was the cutoff for most universities.
Now, we already discussed that you need to have a strong application, and one of the things to make your application strong is to have a stronger SOPs and LORs. How do you go about it?
What people do is people write a very generic SOP, which is not, and they what they do is they translate their resume into words and into an essay, and they write the SOP. But the thing is that the resume already has the facts that you've already done. That is, whatever you've done
Hmm.
is already there. The
Hmm.
university wants something extra, so they're looking for a story behind everything that you have done in the resume. So they're looking for the
Hmm.
why in the SOP, that why you did it,
Hmm.
what was your motivation, and what were the learnings that you're carrying forward, because those learnings will actually help you in your master's journey. So they're looking for a good student.
Congratulations, now you have made it. Let's say you did end up doing everything I said. You got the acceptance letter from Georgia Tech. Now you will be in your F1 visa interview. What is your perception? Do you think that the brand of Georgia Tech will help you? Do you think it's going to be tough?
No, actually, it was pretty much very straightforward. So I think
Yeah.
in that case, the university name really matters, because
Yes.
yes, they asked me hardly one or two questions like, where are you going, what is the purpose, and
Hmm.
what do your parents do, and that's it. Like, not a lot of grilling.
So not that bad. Now, let's say you did end up getting your F1 visa and you decide to fly from India to United States, assuming you are watching this from India or whichever home country you are watching it from. A common concern is that, okay, which airport do I have to land and how do I get from airport to the apartment that you have hopefully booked it before coming to United States?
From Georgia Tech, we had this service wherein they have like a group of seniors and volunteers who kind
Hmm.
of provide the service. So for that 1 to 2 weeks, when the new incoming students are going to come, they have the transportation already arranged. So that was quite
Hmm.
good for me.
Now, I know that name Georgia Tech sounds scary, and especially the other thing that might be scary is the I-20 amount. What is it? So, the I-20 amount for Georgia Tech is roughly $47,000 per year. If you end up doing your master's in 3 semesters, your roughly cost of living and tuition fees and everything will be roughly $70,000. It can go higher if you end up adding another semester or so. Now, at this point, you are probably like, Yudi, I don't have $70,000 in my bank account. I don't even have collateral, don't have cosigner. So who is going to give me a loan? Who's going to take a bet on me? Good news. I've got some good news for you. Mpower will. If you are not aware of Mpower, they do provide no collateral and no cosigner loans for international students because they are making a bet on your future potential and taking risk on you and your skills. In fact, Empower actually has a promotion going on right now. Their interest rate is as low as 9.99%, which is mind-blowing for a no cosigner and a no collateral loans. This depends on your profile again. But what I really like about Empower, again, you've seen them, I've partnered with them multiple times. They don't stop just after giving you the loan. They actually go one step beyond and above for your success, because for them, literally, if you succeed, then they succeed, because there's no security deposit or anything like that, right? So they have to make sure that you succeed. To make sure that you succeed, they provide bunch of programs called Path to Success, where you will get visa support for your F1 visa. Then you will also get to be part of live job hunting bootcamp course that I teach live for all the Empower students. If you end up getting a loan from them, you get to be part of that live course as well. And they provide bunch of job hunting tools which are premium price, but you get it for free because you are their customer and you are their students. So again, I highly recommend you should check out the link in the description. They also have a bunch of scholarship. You don't even have to be Empower customer to be eligible for the scholarship. You can get the scholarship without being a customer. I'll also put the link in the description. Highly recommend. Check it out. Again, I don't partner with a lot of brands. I only partner with the ones who I truly trust and I have a great experience with them. But wait, remember I said you can study for absolutely free, and you're like, Yuri, you scammed us. Like you said, like we can study in UNICEF for free. How's that possible? Well, that is where TA and RA comes into the picture. For those of you who don't know, TA stands for Teaching Assistant, RA stands for Research Assistant. These are on-campus jobs where you can work with professor either on the research that they are doing, so you become an assistant to their research, or you can help them teach a course that they are teaching by grading the course, by attending the practical, by monitoring the students during the exam, and so on and so forth. So that is teaching assistant. Now, TA and RA position typically will provide a stipend, which is basically a salary that you can use to cover your living expenses, actually more than your living expenses. But the real magic of TA and RA at Georgia Tech is
Yes, so health insurance you have to pay. The
okay.
tuition is waived off, and you get around 1,000 to $1,100, depending upon. So in the second year they increased it. In the first year, initially it is 1,000. So
Hmm.
that was quite good enough for me to manage my expenses.
Yep, that is mind blowing. You literally get to do your masters for absolutely free for being a TA and RA, which by the way, you can also use it in your resume for internship and full time job hunt. So, the real question that you might have right now is okay, Yudi, this is great. I want to go to Georgia Tech. How do I actually get this TA and RA position? Well, you need to email professors, and not only just like one professor, you need to email a bunch of professors. Devshree actually got TA position by being proactive. Let's hear it from her.
So I think initially why they should email is because, of course, because of the competition again. That everyone wants those set of. I think there are very limited seats that they have, but everyone
Hmm.
wants them. And at the same time, I think you also want to TA a course which you understand. You at least have a
Hmm.
basic understanding of that course, because
Hmm.
sometimes for some courses they do take interviews for the TA position. Like I was
Hmm.
interviewed for the TA position that I eventually TA'd for high performance computer architecture. So it was one of the core courses, and
Hmm.
that's why they did interview me. So I think for the interview also you need to prepare yourself.
And so did Chaitanya, did the exact same thing, but hear it from him.
I got the TA offer before coming to the US. I was in contact with the professor, so I did well in one of his courses. Then I just like emailed him that I'm interested in TAing for this specific course that I took. I got a pretty good grade in that, and he said that yeah, sure. And then like yeah,
Like I said earlier, that you obviously get a benefit of waiving of the entire tuition fees, but you also get a stipend. What is the stipend amount?
fifteen
Dollars?
sixteen hundred dollars. Sometimes also 2,000, 2,200, 2,400.
Another thing that Chaitanya said to me is like bunch of students. Chaitanya did masters in cybersecurity. Devashri did masters in computer science, but both of them said like multiple students will end up getting TA and RA position. And in fact, Chaitanya said this.
Everybody ends up getting a TA actually. So eventually, at
What?
least one semester, everybody will get a TA, at least for the cybersecurity and CS program also, I believe.
Now, of course, TA and RA is what we've been talking, and they are very popular on this campus. But there are a bunch of other on campus jobs as well that you can explore, like cafeteria jobs, library, receptionist, and all of that. But there's one thing that you might want to know about.
So actually at Georgia Tech, people don't, especially in CS, I've not seen people do on-campus jobs. Yeah, there are
Interesting.
other fields that do dining or they work in the library. But for
Hmm.
CS students, I have not seen a lot of people do on campus. It's either T or RA that they do. because the four courses that you have to take, it takes up so much
So
time
much.
of yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and I think the on-campus jobs, like dining, can be very stressful physically.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it's very difficult for you to come back and study.
You see, I 100% agree with Devashri. It's not just the courses, but then you also actually have to dedicate time for job hunting and full time hunting and internships and assignments. So, if you're putting those 20 hours on the on campus job, especially if it is like a very labor intensive, like a dishwasher or things like that, you'll end up losing a lot of your creative energy and time to focus, and then you'll come home tired and you might not have energy to do actual thing that you came here for, which is full-time job and internship, assuming that is what you need. Maybe consider doing less number of hours if you end up getting into those type of jobs. Now let's talk about important factor, which is cost of living. Like, what does it cost? Atlanta is a big city. It probably costs more to study here. Kind of. What is the average cost of living here?
So it's around 1,000 to $1,100 per room if you want to take it independently. But so
Wow.
around 2,200 was the rent for our two bed, two bath apartment, and we
Hmm.
were four girls living in the apartment. So I
Hmm.
paid 550.
What about utilities and groceries and all of that?
Yes,
Roughly
the
good number.
total was 1,000 to 1,200 for me. So
Yeah.
around 150 to 200 was utilities, and another 200 to 300 was the entertainment that you want, or maybe some movies or groceries and all of that. So yes.
On an average, your monthly expense would be around $1,000 to $1,200, unless you, like, again, in Chaitanya's situation, he was like somewhere else. You can check out the podcast in detail. He was living different situation. Now he's gonna move to different situation. So on an average, 1,000 to 1,400 is what you might end up spending depending on your lifestyle. Now the question is, how is campus life in Georgia Tech?
It's actually very lively. So there are a lot of fests that are happening consistently.
Hmm.
Like even the Indian fests, they have Holi, Diwali, Garba, all of those events. At the
Hmm.
same time, they have a lot of games that are there. Mostly soccer and like football games are like consistently happening. There are tournaments, and you can definitely go buy tickets, and it's a lot of fun
Hmm.
because the
Hmm.
ambience and the environment is amazing. And some or the other day, like every other day, you'll have like free food on campus, you'll have some event that is going
Yeah.
on, so it's very
Yeah.
lively.
Yeah.
They also took us to field trips, like we went to Georgia Aquarium once,
Hmm.
which is like one of the largest aquariums in the United States, and then they took us to Six Flags in the last semester as well.
Okay, so Georgia Tech does have a lot of things to offer. They have a bunch of conferences and hackathons, and I know there's a lot of things going on in the Atlanta as well. But remember, your journey in United States goes beyond just getting 4.0 grades. Look, I've seen many students actually stay in their apartment, stay within their own community, and that's not a bad thing. Just you did not come to sit in the apartment. You came here to experience. Go to the different clubs, meet, go to the startup events, go to hackathons, go to conferences, meet different people, meet people from different communities. This is where you are going to build a lasting friendship. So expand your network and experience the true university experience that you will get to enjoy in Georgia Tech. And of course, we're talking about Atlanta, so we have to talk about safety. Since safety is the top priority for any student, how safe is Atlanta for students?
So it's actually not that safe, frankly. But
Hmm.
if you see the campus, it's very safe because
Hmm.
there is patrolling happening every now and then within the campus, and the campus is huge. And if you live like very close to the campus,
Now I know this might seem super tempting for you that I should join Georgia Tech. Here's something you definitely need to know.
firstly connect to your seniors as well as because they'll tell you the apartments that are in safer places. So there are several
Hmm.
apartments actually, but and they're spread across the it's like a circular campus wherein they're spread across the circular campus. But
Hmm.
the ones that are closer to the campus, they're relatively very safe because
Hmm.
it's like a very it's not a definite marcation that they have, right, demarcation that they
Yeah.
have for the campus. So the
Right.
GT, yeah, the GT patrolling that is happening, it also happens through those apartments. So then
Hmm.
that is definitely safe.
So make sure that you listen to your seniors and avoid going to areas which are not safe. Literally, don't do it. Let's quickly talk about jobs and internship. Like if you study at Georgia Tech, like how good of a job market and internship is it?
So majority of the people started applying in the first semester. So like I think 50% of the people had internships in the first semester itself.
Actually the best time. So everyone got offers. Everyone got multiple offers. So we had a lot of freedom to choose which company we want. But then after that, it became pretty bad. But yeah, that was a really good time to be in the job market.
But is it because just of Georgia Tech brand, or do you have to do something out of box?
Cybersecurity program from Georgia Tech is pretty well known among like the industry as well. So sometimes they might just only hire from Georgia Tech cybersecurity students or CMU cybersecurity students. They will only consider these two universities because they are aware of the programs, like how good the program is. So yeah, I think the name helps sometimes, but like not for a lot of like big tech. I have seen that it does help. But I mean, there is also evidence of big tech hiring from all kinds of universities. So I don't think the university matters that much for big tech unless it's like Harvard or MIT or something. Then yeah, they'll just.
I think it both are interrelated. So Georgia Tech brand is not for job placements, but it is because people who are well prepared, who come from good universities, who have a good technical strong background, they join the university. So I think it's interlinked, but the brand is I don't think, because the career fair was not very useful from getting jobs or internships, because a lot of people, everyone literally goes to the career fair just in case there's like one or two startups who really love your project and they are really interested in your research work. They might like hire you there and then. But like the big tech companies, they definitely have to apply through the normal process. If you apply via referral, that would be great. Like a lot of people at Georgia Tech, they applied to Meta, I remember, and a lot of people got placed in Meta. But I think in that year, a lot of people interned at Meta.
So it's not obviously necessarily just the brand. Now, don't get me wrong. Brand will help you because you will have access to good alumni network. You have to have a strategy. You still have to do the hard work. You still have to go and out network. You still have to hustle. You have to do the hard work to get the interview calls. It's not just because you are in Georgia Tech, someone will give you on a golden platter like, hey, Georgia Tech, we want to interview you. No, you still have to do everything that everyone else is doing. So don't just take this for brand image that, oh, just because you are in Georgia Tech, you are going to get things for like granted. Now, if you don't know, I teach all of this in my Ultimate USA course, which comes with my Ultimate Resume and Job Hunting course as well. So if you are someone planning to come to Georgia Tech, or you've gotten an admit and you want to like even go a step beyond this, I cover end to end from getting the scholarship to getting an on-campus job to typing and networking emails and cold emails, internship timeline, when you need to apply, what you need to do, and all of it in that course. You will also get to be part of the amazing community. Link in the description. Please check it out. No pressure. If you are interested in something like that, link will be in the description. Now let's change some gears and talk about something. If you are going to become a part of Georgia Tech, there will be something that you will go through.
Yes. So actually, in India, if you see, a lot of things are like the university ranking is directly proportional to the placements. So in India, I saw that at Georgia Tech, a lot of people, as because they were from IIT and NIT and all, they'd already worked in the top tech companies. So they'd already done lead code like 1,000 times already. So they didn't have to prepare like I used to prepare before an interview. They were quite chilled out because they already, it was in their system. It was a muscle memory that they used to, code in that specific manner. Even the algorithms, the assignments that they approached, the problem solving skill that they had was very different. I couldn't even think of that approach in the first semester, and they solved the entire assignment. So, and their level of working under stress was amazing. Like they can work a lot under stress. So if you tell them that tomorrow you have an interview, they're already prepared. But in my case, I needed like a week to prepare for an interview. So yeah, that was a static difference.
I totally understand where she's coming from. The whole comparing yourself is the thing that I also went through. But again, in India, placement often don't depend on the university. In United States, it's a whole different game. You are applying for internships and jobs where you are competing with all the master students, not just the master student from Georgia Tech, but everywhere else. So it's a much bigger pool. That's why comparing yourself can be a real trap. Yes, some people did got lucky and they ended up getting an interview call, but that You are something not in a control of that. So don't just like let other people's success let ruin your happiness. I would focus on your personal development. I know it sounds like super easy for me to say this, but I know it's extremely hard for you to like go through this process, see your roommates getting an interview call, but you are not getting it. Again, you need to focus on your journey. And just one more thing that I think you should actually, if you really want to maximize your experience at Georgia Tech, you should be doing.
Firstly, apply for TA or an RA before coming. Male professors, be very
Hmm.
prepared. Try to build a strong alumni network because that really
Hmm.
helps. Not only in mailing professors, but also in course selection, also in the small doubts that you might have across the journey. A person who has actually witnessed that in the same university can tell you much better. So connect to people on LinkedIn for sure. Start preparing for your degree. Like in my case it was lead code, but it can be any other thing. All the prerequisite courses, be very prepared before coming to a country like US because the competition is going to be huge. And be mentally prepared. Don't compare yourself with your peers, your friends, because that is not at all healthy for sure.
Alrighty, that was it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any further question about this topic, please let me know in the comment section. If you want me to cover different universities in the same format, please let me know that as well. Which university would you want me to cover? Let me know that too. And again, don't forget Empower. Promotion is going on. Low interest rate, as low as 9.99%. No cosign, no collateral. Link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep smiling, keep hustling. You gotta hustle every single day. Also, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but motivates me.